First, the headlines. Police confirm arrest of Sobomabo Jackridge. Wike suspends all events at ICC Abuja. Presidency unveils citizens' feedback platform. Again, CBN sells dollar to BDS at 1,101 naira per dollar. Donald Trump rejects national abortion ban. Actress Adejumoke Aderumu is dead. Super Falcons land in South Africa. And now to the rest of our stories. Rivers State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of Sobomabo Jackridge, the governorship candidate of the National Rescue Movement in the 2023 general elections. According to the State Command, the arrest was carried out by a sister security agency. Public Relations Officer of the command, Grace Irige-Koko, confirmed this in a statement to journalists on Monday, stating that 2 individuals lost their lives during the operation, which took place in Degema local government area of the state. Earlier, there was a report that Jackridge had been taken away by individuals wearing military uniforms. The operation was said to have lasted for hours, which resulted in the death of 2 aides to the NRM governorship candidate, Tamuno Iminabo and Sincere Jackridge. SP Irige-Koko stated that the security agency responsible for the operation is expected to transfer the case file to the police for further investigation. Rivers State Police Command has taken another giant step in its ongoing onslaught against cultism and other related crimes in the state. A statement by the Police Public Relations Officer, SP Grace Irige-Koko, said a team of police officers were deployed to the Obologo community in Ahuda West local government area to bring an end to the reign of terror of one Ikem Thangod, popularly known as General Two-Man. General Two-Man, a close ally of the now neutralized Tubaba and General Odireke, was a terror in the Ahuda West local government area and neighboring local government areas. He has carried out a lot of kidnapping activities within and outside the Ahuda West local government area. Rivers State Commissioner of Police Tunji Disu, while commending the tactical team for their efforts, reiterates his commitment to fighting crimes in the state. He equally urged members of the public to feed the police with reliable information that could lead to the arrest of the fleeing suspects and other criminal elements in the state. Government have killed a member of Diobo Vigilante Group DVG, Uche Oruko, at Obidanso Waterfront, Mile 1 Diob, Port Harcourt City Local Government area of Rivers State. The incident, which happened on Saturday night, caused panic in the area, with the police calling for calm. It was gathered that the victim was among a team of security operatives that stormed the waterfront in search of occultists terrorizing the area. The security team, which was acting on information, had raided the waterfront about 9 p.m. on Saturday, where suspected cultists were preparing to launch an attack on a rival group in an ongoing supremacy battle. Meanwhile, said Police Public Relations Officer Grace Irige-Koko on Monday confirmed the killing of Oruko in a telephone conversation with her correspondent, adding the investigation was ongoing to arrest the perpetrators. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has assured that his administration will not persecute opposition political parties for criticizing him. The governor asked such parties to freely criticize and engage his administration to offer credible opposition in the state. Fubara noted that opposition political parties had already acknowledged that elections were over and resolved to offer effective support required to advance good governance in the state. The governor spoke on Monday when he hosted the leadership of the Inter-Party Advisory Council Rivers State Chapter at Government House in Port Harcourt. Fubara, in a statement by his Chief Press Secretary Nelson Chikudi, urged people to freely voice their opinions without intimidation. People's Democratic Party in Bayelsa State has swept the local government election conducted by the State Independent Electoral Commission on Saturday. PDP won the chairmanship position in all 8 local government areas and all the councillorship position in the 105 wards according to the results announced by the Commission in Yenagoa on Sunday. The major opposition party in the state, the All Progressive Congress, shunned the poll as it did not field candidates. In Yenagoa local government area, the BYSIEC's returning officer, Wisdom Sore, declared Boludisaye Ndiwari as the winner after he polled 103 votes. She polled a total of 51,543 votes in Obai local government area. The returning officer Tams Ziedumo declared Golden Jeremiah, who polled 42,462 votes, as the winner. Public affairs analyst Andy Otive says Senator Omo Agege's predictions about the All Progressive Congress taking over 2027 election in Delta State are mere assertions without any viable evidence or political structure. Speaking in Atlantic Open Conversation, Apotive maintained that Nigerian political industry is based on which politician or political group that controls the largest amount of funds and influence.
Going to happen. So there's nothing absolutely wrong with the prediction, but you see, when a prediction is sitting on what is not founded, when the prediction is not sitting on a great foundation, you would only call it a prediction, as it were, because what structures are in place. You know, I've continued to maintain that in Nigeria, it is not individuals that win elections per se. It is structures that win elections. And you would have seen how that the current battle in Rivers State is about who holds the levers of the structure in Rivers State. Essentially, if you looked into Delta State and you wanted to, you know, confirm whether this prediction is what is possible, all you needed to do would be for you to go look at the people who are currently holding the structure and who are the people oiling this.
Abative pointed that godfatherism is one of the challenges hindering the constitutional discharge and outcome of electoral exercise in the country.
Civilized as other political systems. Even though other political systems are even civilized, money still plays a very important role in determining who becomes what. How did Donald Trump become president in America? We saw how that he moved money around, he moved his influence everywhere. His weight was so heavy that the American populace decided for him. And I even see something happening like that again, because whether you like it or not, even the Bible has said it, that money answereth all things. Particularly in politics, there's nothing money cannot answer. In politics, in Nigerian politics, money answers everything. It can get your opponent to, you know, defect to you the next day. It can get your sworn enemy on the other camp to say you are the godfather. In Rivers State, I never believed that the spokesperson of APC was ever going to move to PDP. You know the spokesperson I'm talking about now? You know, the very erudite, wonderful spokesperson who we saw, you know, in front of the green door, being the brown door with a wicket. We never expected it. Money indeed answers all things.
Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has sworn in Omobayo Marvelous Godwins as the new deputy governor of the state. Omobayo replaced Philip Shaibu, who was earlier impeached by the state's House of Assembly on Monday. Shaibu was impeached by the House of Assembly after the adoption of the report of the Justice S.A. Omunwa retired-led impeachment panel. The panel was set up by the Chief Judge of Edo State to investigate allegations of misconduct and perjury against Shaibu. 18 out of the 20 lawmakers that attended the plenary on Monday, April 8, 2024, voted in favor of the impeachment, while one voted against. Recall that the Edo State House of Assembly on Monday impeached the embattled state deputy governor, Comrade Philip Shaibu. Philip Shaibu has said that his impeachment as the Edo State Deputy Governor is illegal and a threat to the nation's democracy. In a reaction via a video shared on his X account, Shaibu denounced the impeachment. Recall that the Edo State House of Assembly on Monday impeached the embattled Deputy Governor, Comrade Philip Shaibu. The impeachment followed the adoption of the report of the 7-man investigative panel set up by the Assembly to probe allegations of misconduct against Shaibu. The impeachment proceedings culminated in a dramatic vote that saw Shaibu ousted from his position. The proceedings were initiated earlier this week. Abia State government has announced plans to clear salary arrears owed medical doctors in the state by the previous administration. This is coming barely 1 week after the state government said it spent 1 billion naira to defray pension arrears of pensioners. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Ngozi Okonkwo, disclosed this during a press conference Monday at Government House, Umuahia, by the Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas, which is on a 10-day medical mission in the state. She also said that the government had decided to increase the wages of health workers in the state to motivate them for efficient service delivery. This, according to her, is part of strategies by the state government to end the continued migration of health workers in search of greener pastures abroad. Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Anambra State Command, said it has deployed over 951 personnel to protect worship centers across the state during the Eid Fitri celebrations. State Commandant of the NSCDC, Maku Olatunde, stated this in Oka on Monday through an operational order issued to all area commanders and divisional officers, heads of information, tactical units, instructing them to ensure sufficient security coverage and peaceful conduct of the Salah celebrations in the state. Olatunde said the move was made to tighten the noose around criminals and their henchmen across the state. Olatunde urged residents to be vigilant and observe security and safety tips, advising them not to engage in any acts capable of breaching peace in the state and to report any suspicious activities to the NSCDC. Ikeda Special Offense Court on Monday remanded the embattled former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission after he took his plea over alleged abuse of office and allocation of $4.5 billion, 2.8 billion naira. Emefiele, who was earlier arraigned alongside his co-defendants, one Henry Isioma, on fresh 26. Lagos Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has named UK-based Nigerian Elumi Nubi, who drove from Lagos to London, as Lagos Tourism Ambassador. He said this during his meeting with a travel content creator. The governor also offered to cover the cost of the travel while gifting her a new apartment and a car. Senior Special Assistant on New Media to Governor Sanwo-Olu, Jibril Gawat, announced this in a post on his social media handle. 6 persons lost their lives while 20 others sustained various degrees of injuries in 3 separate accidents across Ogun State on Monday. Meanwhile, 26 persons reportedly escaped unhurt from the crashes. Spokespersons from the Ogun State Command of Federal Road Safety Corps, Florence Ope, revealed this in a statement made available to journalists. The first crash that occurred at Fidiwo along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway around 3:40 a.m. claimed 2 lives while 2 people were injured. The accident involved a Toyota bus and another golf car without a registration number. Sector Command FRSC Ogun Sector Command Anthony Uga has advised motorists to drive cautiously and have enough rest to avoid fatigue. Under Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has flagged off distribution of federal government palliatives to farms in the state. The 40 trailers of grains are to be distributed to livestock farmers across the 18 local government areas of the state. Aiyedatiwa said the measures was to address escalating food prices in the country. The governor said a committee on agriculture and food security tasked with taking immediate action in response to raising food prices, food process has been set up. He stated that his administration has embarked on projects aimed at improving market access through construction of rural roads and empowerment of smallhold farmers through training, capacity building, including access to credit. Aiyedatiwa said agriculture has contributed to the state's economy, saying the state supplies 75% of tomatoes to its markets in Lagos State. Benue State Governor Reverend Hyacinth Alia has announced a 10 million naira bounty for anyone with useful information that would lead to the arrest of suspects who recently attacked the Makurdi residence of a member representing Katsina Allah Ukum Logo Federal Constituency, Solomon Uwombo. Recall that the hoodlums had on Saturday attacked the residence of the federal lawmaker. The government, after invading the residence, demanded to know the whereabouts of the lawmaker. Reacting earlier in a statement issued by his chief press secretary, Sir Teso Kula, condemned the attack, emphasizing that his administration will not watch criminals terrorize innocent people in the state, promising that the government would do everything in its power to ensure the suspects are arrested and made to face the full wrath of the law. He charged security agencies in the state to work tirelessly to locate the suspects and bring them to book. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is gradually achieving its promises to transform the Federal Capital Territory, courtesy of the Honorable Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, as he announces the closure of the Abuja International Conference Center on 8th April for rehabilitation in 8 months' time. The minister made announcements while inspecting the center in Abuja, saying the reason for renovations was because the center does not match the standard of an international conference center. He said all events recently booked to take place at the International Conference Center should be cancelled and no other activities should take place except renovations for the period of 8 months. Operatives of the Federal Capital Territory Police Command have raided criminal hideouts and arrested 85 suspects. The statement signed by the Police Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Ede, said the officers stormed some identified black spots and criminal hideouts in Durumi and Day axis of Abuja. She disclosed that illegal structures and shanties used to peddle hard drugs and manufacture counterfeit currencies will be demolished. Ade stated that all the arrested suspects would be screened while those found culpable would be profiled and arraigned in court. She added that the Commissioner of Police, FCT CP Benneth C. Igwe, reassures residents of his commitment to flush out criminals from FCT and ensure the safety of all. He also urged residents to be vigilant and report suspicious movements to the police. Operatives of the Federal Capital Territory Police Command have arrested the leader of an armed robbery gang, Chukwuemeka Oputa, popularly known as Pounds and Dollar. He is said to have been responsible for a series of armed robberies and other heinous crimes in the FCT. A statement by the FCT Police Command Public Relations Officer Josephine Ade said the 38-year-old Oputa was arrested on April 4, 2024. His arrest is consequent upon the apprehension of one Moses Hassan of Ida, Kogi State, a cultist and member of the armed robbery gang, on February 14, 2024. Several exhibits such as 4 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles, 3 locally made rifles using cartridges, an English pistol, 1 locally made pistol, a Dane gun, and 3 AK-47 ammunitions, a 5.6 mm assault ammunition, and an empty cartridge were recovered from the suspect. Analyst Amaka Onochie has blamed the Abuja food truck loots on the high cost of living and hardship faced by citizens across the country. Speaking on Atlantic Television Society Watch, Onochie maintained that hungry citizens would always work on the instinct to survive following the current hardship so far.
It's hardship, you know, a hungry man is an angry man. People are hungry. People are so hungry. They will exhausted their savings. You understand? So they act out of desperation. This is just desperation. Can you imagine the crowd? You see the crowd of people trooping in to loot, to attack, to get, to grab. It's just desperation. People are so hungry. And this inflation subsidy, it's not even helping matter at all. It's not helping matter at all. And as basically saying that the security personnel aren't aware. No. They are aware. They know what's happening. They know what's going on.
Amaka Onochie further blamed the government for failure to meet the needs of the masses.
It's just that the government has failed in its course. The government has failed to look into the matters they're supposed to look into. So people are now acting based on instincts, and that's simply what survival.
Recall that residents of Abuja recently attacked and looted a truck carrying food items in Day area. Niger State Governor Mohammed Umaru Bago has reassured all citizens of the state that his administration will not leave anything to chance in securing lives and properties. The governor, in his Eid al-Fitr message to the Muslim faithful signed by his chief press secretary Balogi Ibrahim, said even some of the internally displaced persons in the state are safely returning to their ancestral homes. While congratulating the Muslim faithful world over on the successful completion of this year's Ramadan fast and the Eid al-Fitr celebration, he urged them to remain steadfast in the worship of Allah and to follow the teachings of the Quran. And the Hidid Bago also tasked the Muslim Ummah to continue in their prayers for enduring peace in the state and nation. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has stated that the distribution of grains is part of a comprehensive intervention program the federal government is implementing to cushion hardship in the land and revamp the Nigerian economy for sustainable development and prosperity for all citizens. He spoke during the flag-off of the release of 42,000 metric tons of assorted food commodities from the National Strategic Food Reserve across the country to vulnerable Nigerians to cushion the effect of the rising cost of food commodities. The event was held on Sunday, 6 April 2024 at the Government House, Sokoto State. The minister said President Bola Tinubu is concerned about raising food prices and is determined to make essential food available and affordable for Nigerians, which is why he approved the distribution of 42,000 metric tons of assorted grains, including sorghum, millets, and maize, and 60,000 metric tons of rice through millers. Principal and Examination Officer of the Government Day Secondary School, Salihu Dogo, in Jalingo, the capital of Taraba State, have been suspended. Their suspension, which was contained in a letter issued by the State Ministry of Education, followed an alleged attempt by the duo to sabotage the free education policy of the state governor, Dr. Abu Kefas. The principal, who was identified as Haruna Joshua Assemble, and the examination officer Ezekiel Rimansikwe were alleged to have been selling the West African Examination Certificate and National Examination Certificates, exam slots to external candidates for personal gain. The ministry noted that both examinations were meant to be free of charge for all intending students in the state. The said government, it would be recalled, had released funds for the payment of both WAEC and NECO. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Kano State arrested no fewer than 319 suspects across the state between January and March 2024. NTLEA commander in the state, Abubakar Idris Ahmad, who made this known in an interview with NAN on Monday, said the agency also seized 4.7 tons of illicit drugs. According to him, the suspects were 305 males and 14 females. He said about 2.3 kilograms of marijuana and 2.4 kilograms of psychotropic substances were seized from the suspects within the period of the arrest. According to him, in the 3 months, the command secured 33 convictions of individuals involved in drug trafficking and other drug-related offenses. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, says the country needs to tackle the devastating effects of poverty and insecurity in the northern region of Nigeria through agriculture and industrial revolution. Obi said this when he paid a courtesy visit to the Emir of Zazua in Kaduna State, Ambassador Nihu Bamali, as part of his ongoing tour of the north. The LP chieftain lamented that the majority of the vast arable lands in the north are uncultivated, while most of the industries in the region have shut down due to lack of political will and inconsistent government economic policies. He, however, noted that the current socio-economic instability in the country requires that all citizens and leaders come together and see how the situation could be salvaged. Zamfara State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has deployed 700 of its personnel to provide adequate security during and after the Eid al-Fitr celebration in the state. The State Commandant Salim Mustafa emphasized that all the units and formations of the Corps must ensure adequate policing to forestall any form of security breach. He said marketplaces and motor parks must be secured adequately, pointing out that the Corps is poised to beef up security in the state. The State Commandant explained that all the flashpoints would be covered, noting that his goal is to make Zamfara a crime-free state in the country. The Commandant disclosed this when he received an award by the Public Relations Unit of the Corps in the State Command as an iconic administrator. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break. Welcome back. This is the Global News and Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. Presidency has unveiled its Citizens Delivery Tracker to provide a strong feedback loop between citizens and government on the 8 priority areas of the Bola Tinubu administration. President's Special Advisor on Policy and Coordination, Hadiza Bala Usman, disclosed these at the Go Live event of the CDT holding in Abuja on Monday. Bala Usman said Monday's unveiling is a culmination of months-long process since Tinubu announced plans for ministerial accession at the cabinet retreat for ministers and heads of government agencies last November. In reaching the key performance indicators, the presidential aide explained the CDCU held numerous bilateral meetings with ministers, departments, and agencies within 6 weeks. The 8 priority areas are reform the economy and to deliver sustainable, inclusive growth, strengthen national security for peace and prosperity, boost agriculture to achieve food security, and unlock energy and natural resources for sustainable development, amongst others. 60 lawmakers of the opposition PDP in the House of Representatives have called for immediate unconditional resignation of the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Umar Damagum, over what they termed anti-party activities. Spokesperson Coalition Honorable Ikenga Ogochinyere, who was flanked by the opposition lawmakers at a press briefing in Abuja, said they have in good authority evidence that the acting national chairman and his cohorts in the party have concluded plans to hand over the party to ruling All Progressive Party. The lawmakers assured that they will not allow injustice in the party, with the party falsifying their delegate list for the upcoming Rivers local government elections and that of 10 other PDP states.
Let us send this note of warning to all in PDP and a part of the leadership of the party at whatever level, that this PDP local government leadership will mark the end of the party if Damagum tampers with the original agreed list of caretaker committee members for Rivers State and other 10 states. Gentlemen, what Mr. Damagum is doing to PDP is worse than what Alimo the Sheriff did or intended to do. Presently, in all the states where PDP is not the governor, Damagum has already concluded arrangement to hand the party leadership to APC. In the specific case of Rivers State, the caretaker committee members from Damagum's office are LUGA chairmen produced by former Rivers State House of Assembly members who, as we all know, have lost their seats following their defection to APC. They have formally left the PDP, and Damagum is taking a list from them to announce. You cannot be working for those interested in the downfall of PDP and yet claim to love PDP. It is not just possible. Under Damagum, PDP lost the entire Southeast. The Hitoto was the comfort zone of the party. PDP controls only Enugu State, which he literally snatched from the jaw of a lion. It is our call on Damagum to immediately step aside so that the party can midwife a process and hand over to someone from North Central in line with the provisions of our party constitution. Damagum, how many times did we call you? Voices have risen from the National Assembly to speak out and stop you. You have a chance to resign immediately, leave or be embarrassed out of the party. At least 60 of us in the PDP in the National Assembly will sever all relationship with your leadership until you leave office.
After members of the group were calling for the intervention of President Bola Tinubu as a matter of necessity said they will not sit around to see the opposition being gagged by the leaders of the party, stating that it is in the interest of the coalition to ensure a viable opposition that will provide alternative and solution for the country.
Mr. President and his advisors, his economic team, should rise up. They should see this as a clarion call to save this country, Nigeria. There is always a time for governance and also a time for politics. This is the time for governance and not politics. On the streets of Rivers State, the Rivers people are united behind the governor that they elected. The Rivers people are united in rejecting the illegal members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, former. Therefore, it should not be heard, neither should it be seen, that there are persons using authorities of governance to perpetuate illegality in Rivers State.
Democracy is for the people. We cannot continue without consultation and the right timing of reformations. PDP as an opposition party, we are calling as an opposition lawmakers. That is our role, to come up and provide solution. We are not here to lament or to murmur. We are here to provide an alternative. We are here to say that the opposition have to wake up, stand to its role, and play its role as an opposition.
Executive Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, has called on the youth to shun cybercrime and other forms of criminality. Olukoyede, in a post on the EFCC's official page, made this call in Benin City, Edo State, while speaking on the program Youth Empowerment Against Cybercrime, organized by Cybersecurity Education Initiatives. EFCC boss, who was represented by Williams Osegale, head of the Public Affairs Department, Benin Zonal Command, warned the youth to stay away from cybercrime as the consequences were dreadful. He stated that there was no shortcut to wealth and urged the youth to use the internet to innovate and create positive economic growth. Federal High Court in Abuja has remanded the Binance executive Tigran Gambayan in Kuje Correctional Center pending determination of his bail application. The trial judge, Justice Emeka Wite, gave the order after Gambayan pleaded not guilty to the money laundering charges preferred against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Monday. The judge subsequently adjourned the matter till April 18th for the ruling on his bail application and May 2nd for commencement of trial. Nigeria Meteorological Agency has predicted sunshine and thunderstorm from Monday to Wednesday. NIMET's weather outlook released on Sunday in Abuja forecast a sunny and hazy atmosphere over parts of Yobe and Borno states on Monday, with chances of thunderstorm over parts of Kebbi. According to NIMET, the remaining parts of the north should be sunny with patches of cloud during the morning periods. Sunny skies with few cloud patches are expected over the north-central region, with prospects of isolated thunderstorm over parts of Niger, Kwara and Benue during the morning hours. NIMET envisaged the south to be cloudy with spells of sunshine, with chances of isolated thunderstorm over parts of Oyo, Ogun, Osun, Delta, Edo, Lagos, Akwa Ibom and Cross River states during the morning hours. Now, business news. Central Bank of Nigeria has again announced the sales of dollars to Bureau de Change operators. It disclosed this in a circular uploaded to its website on Monday. The Apex Bank said it is set to sell $10,000 to each BDSC at $1,101 naira per dollar and directed the operators to sell at a spread not more than 1.5% above the CBN rate. The Central Bank of Nigeria has written to all banks in Nigeria to stop the use of foreign currencies as collateral for Naira loans. It disclosed this in a circular uploaded to its website on Monday. The Apex Bank said it has observed the use of FCY by bank customers as collateral for Naira loans and therefore prohibits it with immediate effect. Total inflows into the foreign exchange market rose by about 42% last month to hit its highest level in the past 5 years as domestic and foreign investors continue to react positively to the nation's macroeconomic reforms. Data from the Nigerian's autonomous foreign exchange market at the weekend showed that the forex inflows has sustained double-digit growth. NAFEM data obtained from the FMDQ showed that inflows rose by 41.7%, which translates to moving from $2.64 billion in February to $3.75 billion last month, the highest level since March 2019. The upsurge was driven by a significant increase in the supplies from both domestic and foreign sources. The rally was notably driven by non-government sources, with less inflows from the Central Bank of Nigeria. A breakdown showed that domestic sources accounted for 59% of total transactions, while foreign sources contributed to 41%. Nigeria is set to receive a $1.05 billion syndicate loan backed by oil from the African Export-Import Bank next month. The loan is part of a larger $3.3 billion prepayment facility arranged by Afrimex Bank, with repayment terms tied to crude cargoes from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Afreximbank Bank's Senior Executive Vice President for Finance, Administration and Banking, Dennis Daya, confirmed the verification of crude availability, paving the way for the final release of the balance within the next month. The loan aims at reviving Nigeria's economy and enhancing the supply of hard currency in the local foreign exchange market. The substantial portion of it, 2/3, was already disbursed in January. The financial maneuver is designed to provide Nigeria with immediate funds based on future oil production, offering a lifeline to the country's struggling economy. Emirates, UAE has concluded plans to resume flights with Nigeria. This followed numerous visits from President Bola Tinubu to UAE over the communication breakdown between both countries. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, said the Emirates airline had already indicated its readiness in a letter sent to the Nigerian government. Keyamo explained that what transpired during the earlier visit and resolution was not fake, but was presented in a hasty manner. Apart from Emirates suspending flights to Nigeria in 2022, the UAE Immigration Department notified its trade partners and travel agencies that it was stopping visa application from 22 countries, 20 of which are African nations. Now to international tidbits. Israeli military has announced the killing of a Hezbollah commander during an overnight airstrike in Lebanon. Ali Ahmad Husseini of Hezbollah Allied Iran Force was eliminated by Israeli jets in the South Sotani area in southern Lebanon. In a statement issued on Monday, the Israeli military accused Husseini of attacks against his forces in recent months. Condemning the attack, the United Nations Special Coordinator for Lebanon, Joanna Roneka, and the commander of the UN peacekeeping mission in Lebanon, Aroldo Lazaro, said the violence must stop. Meanwhile, dozens of rockets have been launched from Lebanon into the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Makeshift ferry boat sunk off the north coast of Mozambique, killing 96 persons, including children. According to the official reports on Monday, the converted fishing boat carrying about 130 people ran into trouble late on Sunday as it was trying to reach an island of Nampula province. Most of those on board were trying to escape the mainland because of a panic caused by the disinformation about cholera, according to Nampula's Secretary of State, Jamin Netu. Rescuers have found 11 survivors and search operations are continuing. Earlier, officials had said 91 people lost their lives. The Southern African country, one of the world's poorest, has recorded almost 15,000 cases of cholera and 32 deaths since October, according to government data. Republican president candidate Donald Trump said abortion rights should be left up to U.S. states to decide. His statement came after questions had swirled for weeks over what his stance would be on the issue. Trump's rival for the White House, U.S. President Joe Biden, is a devout Catholic, but as president has stood firm in his support for abortion access. Democrats have been leaning strongly into the issue, characterizing Trump as the architect of attacks on reproductive rights, while vowing to reinstate Roe. In his videos, Trump repeated earlier comments that, like former Republican President Ronald Reagan, when it comes to abortion, he is strongly in favor of exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. Pope Francis has denounced abortions and the carrying of children by surrogate mothers as grave offenses against human dignity. In a declaration of principles published by the Vatican on Monday, the head of the Catholic Church also described gender reassignment and gender theory. Pope said gender theory is an offense against what he said was a God-given dignity of human beings. According to the document, a human being, whether unborn or not, is always something sacred and inviolable. The Vatican's latest declaration draws a parallel between abortion and surrogacy when a woman carries a child on behalf of someone else's and then gives it to them after the birth. U.S. President Joe Biden was unveiling new plans Monday to reduce student loan debts for millions of Americans in fresh bid to win over young voters who will be crucial in November's election. The Democrats' proposal comes after his initial big ambitions to cancel several $100 billion of debts were struck down by the conservative-dominated U.S. Supreme Court in June. The plans will wipe out accrued interest for 23 million borrowers, cancel all student debt for 4 million others, and give at least $5,000 in debt relief to over 10 million borrowers, it said. White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre added that Biden will use every tool available to cancel student debt, no matter how many times Republican elected officials try to stand in his way. The new plans were entirely consistent with the court decision last year, which the White House had studied carefully. And now entertainment news. Nollywood actress Adejumoke Oreoluwa Aderomu, popularly known as her future as Esther in the hit TV series Jennifer's Diary, is dead. It was learned that the 40-year-old actress died in the early hours of Saturday. According to the reports reached surfaced on social media over the weekend, the news of Aderomu's death was shared by a family member. The cause of her death was yet to be made public as of the time of filing this report. However, according to information available on the social media, a funeral service has since been held for Aderomu Adejumoke at Owu Baptist Church, Totoro area of Abeokuta in Ogun State. Nollywood actress Halima Abubakar has been slammed with a 10 million naira fine for publishing libellous statements about the senior pastor and general overseer of Omega Fire Ministries International, Apostle Johnson Suleiman. A federal Capital Territory High Court on Monday ordered the deadly plot actress to pay the amount to the cleric as damages. According to a certified true copy of the judgment, Apostle Suleiman accused the actress of publishing derogatory comments against him on her Instagram page, which were in turn published by several blogs and newspapers. In his judgment, Justice Enobie Obano noted that Abubakar was allowed to defend herself in the matter but failed to do so. The court also barred Abubakar from any further publication on Apostle Suleiman. Here now is ATN Sports News. Rivers United were beaten by USM Alger of Algeria 2-1 in the second leg of the CAF Confederation Cup on Sunday night. Evans Ogonyi's men came into the tie with 1-0 aggregation lead, hoping to make it into the semi-final. However, Malian striker Abdullah Kano had other things in store for the men from Nigeria as he opened the scoring for the hosts 8 minutes before the break. United's Andy Oba came close to equalizing, but his header hits the crossbar, keeping the goal aggregate at 1-1. Rivers United crashed out of the CAF Confederation Cup following a 2-0 defeat to Usma of Algeria. Kano would seal up the tie in the 74th minute, securing USM Alger a place in the semi-finals. Super Falcons of Nigeria have arrived in South Africa for the second leg of their 2024 Olympic Games qualifying fixture against Banyana of South Africa. Randy Waldrum and his players landed in Lagos on Sunday afternoon before connecting on air peace flight to OR Tambo International Airport, Johannesburg. The contingent is expected to hit Pretoria later today. The Super Falcons would take on Banyana at the Loftus Versfeld Stadium, Pretoria, on Tuesday. The encounter will kick off at 6:30 p.m. Nigerian time. The Super Falcons hold a 1-0 lead going into the second leg. Fulham's Alex Iwobi has surpassed John Mikel Obi's record for the most minutes played by a Nigerian in the English Premier League. In Fulham's recent 1-0 home defeat to Newcastle United, Iwobi played the entire 90 minutes, taking his Premier League minutes tally to an impressive 6,289. This remarkable feat eclipses the previous record of 16,218 minutes held by former Chelsea stalwart John Mikel Obi. Iwobi's journey in the Premier League began with Arsenal, where he made his debut on October 31st, 2015. After quite a successful stint with the Gunners, the versatile midfielder joined Everton in 2019 before making the move to Fulham last summer. Mikel Obi, the previous record holder, enjoyed a storied career in the Premier League, spending 11 seasons with Chelsea and winning numerous honours, including 2 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups and a Champions League crown. Premier League club side Everton has been hit with a 2 points deduction for another breach of the Premier League's profitability and sustainability rules. Everton was charged again in January alongside Nottingham Forest for breaching PSR rules over a period ending with the 2022-2023 season. Forest was handed a 4-point deduction and has appealed against the decision. The club sat 15th in the Premier League table, 4 points above the bottom 3 before the point deduction was announced. They now dropped below Brentford into 16th place on 27 points, 2 points and 2 places above 18th place. Luton Everton was also deducted 10 points in November for exceeding permitted losses by £19.5 million over a period ending with the 2021-2022 season, which was reduced to 6 points following a successful appeal. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Police confirm arrest of Subomabo Jackridge. Wike suspends all events at ICC Abuja. Presidency unveils citizens' feedback platform. Again, CBN sells dollar to BDC at 1,101 naira per dollar. Donald Trump rejects national abortion ban. Actress Adejumoke Aderomo is dead. Super Falcons land in South Africa. I am Wendy Aguma. Thank you for watching and good evening.